Welcome on in, everyone. It's another episode of the North from Philly podcast. I'm Adam from Wales, and with my partner Justin from Tennessee. And as you can see, this is a big game coming up this week. The Eagles have got a chance to get into the NFC Championship. They're in such a great spot, and I had to get the big guns and the big guns out for this one. I needed the number one hype guy in Philly. He's a great bloke. He's an inspiration to a lot of people, and he's just I'm so grateful that we've got him on the pod with us. So I'd like to welcome on in the Sergeant Major of North Philly, RIOS. How you doing, mate?
What's going on, gentlemen? Adam, all the way at Wales. I appreciate you. Thank you for the kind words. I'm just a guy, and I'm just a brother who's willing to be there for what he loves and fight for everybody who's, with everybody, and for everybody who's very close, connected, and thorough. And when it comes to these egos, freaking serious. You feel me? So
yeah. Oh yeah. It's time.
Pleasure. It's
boys,
a pleasure.
Yeah. Just how we doing, fella?
Oh man, it's just been another grind, another week, but we got through it. We're here. It's one more day till game time, and we, like you said, we brought out the big guns, Sergeant Major of Philly, to help us get through it, to break this thing down, break down last week's game and this week's game upcoming. Looking forward to it, man. Been looking forward to it all week.
Yeah, it's going to be it's a big week, big game, but
Justin, it's always great. How you doing, man? You looking good over there in Tennessee, man. You already know, man, that and everybody like Justin is just a real guy. It's just nothing but love. You got Adam from Wales. I can't wait to meet him. I met Justin. I mean, just always such a freaking pleasure. And like I was just told him on and no, I'm gonna say it because I say the real thing. Justin is the only white man from Tennessee, whatever part of Tennessee he's from, a rural area, whatever it is. He had nothing but Puerto Ricans and blacks from the hoods of Philadelphia, north, west, south, or whatever it is, and was there showing him love at Chickies and Pete's. And I had to put that out there. Only who knows if that goes over people's heads, whatever it is, but the people from Philadelphia would definitely understand it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was, I've told Adam several times how awesome it was, both times I've been up there, and how gracious I am for the people that came out, like Rio, Yoshi, Chuck, OG Wade, Tom from Abington. There's just a ton of people that came out to see me, and I know I'm forgetting some, and I hate naming names, but I mean it was humbling. Like the first and second time I was up there, it really was, to see the sheer amount of people that said they came out to see me, and like the first time they did, I was just kind of like, it's kind of BS, and John Marks and Ike Reese and Jack Fritz all said, no, dude, this is, like the first time I was up there, of course they say it's a little more busy at Chickies during football season than it is baseball season, but they were all like, no, dude, this is crazy. We have never seen anything like this. And you had the Brandon Graham show going on, and there was supposed to be another Eagle for the Players Lounge that night, but that was the same day Hassan started talking trash about the 49ers, and the Eagles wouldn't let Hassan come to the Players Lounge that night. So, but it was a phenomenal trip both times. I absolutely loved it.
All right. Well, let's get into it then, boys. It was a big win last week over Packers. Obviously, there's two sort of ways to look at it. It was a good win. They could have won by a little bit more. Could have gone up to 30 points, but they had some offensive struggles. But to me, Jalen sort of he played well enough to keep us in the game. They struggled to get the ball running in a bit, but it was going to be a battle. But the defense, it created turnovers. You know what I mean? It was a physical game. So I think the Eagles did well. Considering Jalen's coming off that concussion, the concussion turned out to be a lot worse than what we all thought at first. He wasn't even able to throw the ball while he was out. He wasn't able to participate in anything. So considering all of that, he did well. He made plays when he needed to make them. And that's what Jalen always gives us. We can't ask for anything more than that. And we're so lucky that we've got the offensive weapons that we have. We're in a very, very good position. We're healthy now. I know we lost like the Kobe Dean last week, which is obviously a big, big gut punch. But these guys have got to step up now. Trotter Jr., Burks, they got to step up. You know what I mean? They brought, Nicholas Morrow back. We'll see if he gets any snaps. I don't know. He might just be there as a sort of emergency, position, but we'll see. So how are you both sort of feeling from the Packers game last week? Are you still sort of like, got any like little worries here and there? I'm not too concerned myself. I think we're going to do well this week. We're all we're quite healthy now, so we should be okay. But how are you sort of feeling after the game?
Rios, I'll let you go first. You're the guest, man. Let's have it.
Well, let me tell you something. Ain't no fucking worries. And see, this is the thing. Let me start off with what people worry about. You got the injury to Nakobe Dean. Don't freaking forget 2017. That's what I'm trying to tell people. If you think about it, it wasn't that we just lost like certain players who we were able to just get another player off the freaking streets. We lost a lot of number ones. I don't even need to go through the list. So it wasn't, people would think, and most people in other different states or whatever they from, different countries may think, all right, the Eagles lost Carson Wentz and Nick Foles came in and bust ass. It wasn't just Nick Foles. It was the line from the linemen. It was from the linebackers. It was from the running backs. It was all that. So, like you said, next man freaking up. And definitely, just because of nostalgia, I am so excited for playoff game, put his ass in that fire, because just like in the military, you think you train for stuff, but you don't know nothing you until you get your ass kicked in that fire, and then you got to figure the shit out, right?
Yeah.
Bro, Jeremiah Trotter, his son, looks like him to a certain extent, a slimmer version of his dad, got his dad's number. So number one, it's gonna be pandemonium if he like puts boots to ass to somebody and does that signature axe thing that his dad does.
Oh, I'd love to see that this week. They made great plays. Like the special team play on the opening kickoff last week. Burks made that, smashed that guy, decked him. Then Trotter Jr. makes, like I said to Justin last week, that was like a legacy sort of defining play, because he manages to get to the bottom of the pile, get the ball. And it was like when I saw in the pile up, you can't quite see, there's so many bodies, you can't see who's on what. And then when Trotter Jr. came up with the ball, I was like, oh, that is just like, I was so pumped for him as a player coming in and having to play under his dad's shadow. But then just for him to be able to make that play on special teams, and with Burks, making that tackle, showing his physicality, that was just awesome. I was chuffed to see that.
It just showed the fight and fire that Trot Jr. plays with to get in there in that pile and rip that ball away. And who knows? I mean, they called it a fumble on the field, and there was no way they could overturn it. There was no evidence. I kind of think he was down, but I don't know if he had full possession of it. But Trot got in there and he ripped that thing out like, hey, that's my ball. I'm getting it. I'm coming with it. How bad do you want it? I want it more. And that's what we got to have. And like you said, man, Burks let it off with that big hit right from the jump. So we're going to, like Rio said, we're going to need those guys. We had a lot of guys injured. It was more than Wentz. It was the best left tackle in the league at that time, probably, and Jason Peters was out. We lost our starting middle linebacker in what? Good Lord, his name escapes me every time.
I forget names too, brother.
Hicks,
yes.
Was it
yeah,
Hicks? That was his name?
Okay.
Jordan Hicks, that's right. Yeah. We had lost him. We had lost, like Rio said, we had lost several starters from that team. And that team just kept coming together and building and building and building. And it built to the culmination of what we all want at the end of every year, and that's the Super Bowl.
Yep. See, and also, and that's the defense side. And just so we know, and this is the great thing, for you to know, Justin, or for you to know, Adam, however long y'all been watching the Philadelphia Eagles, I grown up and that all I knew was freaking defense, man.
Yeah.
All I knew was defense to really smash the hell out of you, and then that starts the offense. So that's what it looks like right now, like the beginning of the Packers game. The defense came out and made sure came out like a damn mortar rounds or a 5.56, 7.62 rounds in the military coming through and smashed that man right in the mouth and got the ball and gave it to the offense. So that's where our energy is coming from. And the fans, you can see how the stadium erupted. Now, with the offense, my thing, it ain't Jalen. Yes, Jalen has to play better. But the biggest thing that I saw, I know Jalen could do the certain throws that I need. Look at the first throw he threw. That touchdown to freaking Dotson after we went and smashed that guy and got the fumble. The way he threw that pass was great. He holds the ball, yes, sometimes too long, but a lot of times people ain't looking into it. I think it's that freaking damn Kellen Moore, man. I just don't like that man's face. I don't know what it is about it. But it's something about him, like I don't need all the time. Like, you think about it, we saw plays that was under center. Some plays that was under center, some screens. A.J. Brown is a big body receiver. You get him on the screen, most of the time it's just him to get that ball because it's just like in basketball. If me and Justin playing basketball, all Justin got to do is back me down, put his hands up and say, yo, let me get the ball because of our size difference. So A.J. Brown has that body dimensions, so we could do them slants. We could do certain, not the bullshit screens, but certain screens for Saquon or whatever it is. But we need to get the short game started because it opens up the freaking long game. We got the running game. So to me, it was more on that. I have very, very so much confidence in Jalen that he's going to do what he has to do, because at the end of the day, you saw what he did in the Super Bowl. When we played in the Super Bowl, this kid got it, man. He got it.
That was the thing. Like last week, I was going back and forth with Justin. I was like, what is the play calling going on? Like it was that first half, the play calling, and going early into the third quarter, the play calling was terrible. These third down screens that they like to do never work when they have Devontae Smith as like one of the lead blockers. And don't get me wrong, Devontae is a strong guy. When he's going up to try and catch balls and stuff, 9 times out of 10 he's gonna out physical the guy and come down with the ball. He's really good at that. But when it comes to blocking, he does, it's not his fault. He just doesn't quite have that, strength and physicality to be a lead blocker.
He got no bias behind him, does he?
No, it just doesn't make sense. Like these play calls.
And just understand this: when you play, you can't have the. Let me tell you something. And sometimes people may think it's just I'm just too extreme, I'm too aggressive, or whatever it is. Man, this is freaking life. And I use this as an example. I'm a very emotional when it comes to my son. My son, he's a little bit on the spectrum. But this is the point that I'm getting at. Just because he has mild autism, doesn't mean that the way my son looks at the world, like, oh my God, everybody's just so lovable like he is. I tell him, ain't nobody gonna take a knee for my son just because he has autism. We're gonna give it to him lightly. Because I'm trying to teach him in a way, if daddy's not here, you gotta understand that this world is ugly and you gotta know how to navigate through it. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? With the sports. You can't go and some of them calls, we was up by what it was, 7 points or 10 points. All of a sudden we up by 7 or 10. Now we get to the point where we're conservative and we're playing to not lose the game. You can't play like that. You gotta play to win, not play to not lose, because look, we keep people close. And you know what? Some people will have the feelings. We bullies now. So some people want that feeling of the underdog shit that we had when we was in 2017. We can't get nobody a chance. When you got somebody down, you keep them fuckers down. Right away. It's no problem. That's all that I want. That's all that we had to do. Because I honestly, I never felt in my life of a great dominant team as we have on all sides of the freaking ball that we have right now, gentlemen.
The play calling, what we were mad about, Adam and I, it was like, why are you calling these long developing routes when you have probably the greatest slant receiver in history? Like A.J. Brown is almost indefensible when he's running slants. He is, like, if you're throwing him a slant 10 straight times, he's probably catching it 9 times, and there's no telling how many yards after the catch he's going to get after that, and you've got possibly the number one or number two running back in the league right now in Saquon Barkley, and you've got the best. You know, the Eagles probably have either the best or the second best receiving combination in the league in Devontae and AJ. So both of these guys, they're so quick and great at catching the ball. You should be running short, quick routes. And yes, Jahan Dotson, I think, I don't know. There's been a lot of talk about him. I think there's a spot for him on this team.
Yeah,
there's something he can do, and he's got good speed. He had good speed coming out of the draft. Let him be the guy to take the top off. I mean, that's something we're missing. We had who was the kid that dropped the ball in the Super Bowl? That the speedster number.
Quez Watkins.
I want to forget his fucking name.
Quez Watkins. He had all the speed in the world, but he couldn't catch a cold if he caught in his face.
Yeah.
He couldn't. So I mean, I think Dotson he doesn't have that type of speed, but he's got enough where he can keep them honest, running down deep in the field. You know what I'm saying?
Look at that ball he threw up in Jacksonville that he managed to somehow, come down with it, and he had to juggle it a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's skill and work ethic.
I get what you're saying, Justin, because the thing is, it's like this. The primary thing that you're saying is like, look at this. Y'all remember the Dallas Goedert play against the Packers? He done embarrassed the hell out that man. He gave it to him. It was like what about maybe a 5-and-out or whatever it was. Yeah. He got the ball. So it's really pretty much get the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands and give it, because we got so many skilled playmakers. We don't need to always have where it's like every pass play got to be 10 yards or more. Like, come on, man. This is the NFL. These guys play. It's quick. It's quick. If we get the ball out there quick, Devontae Smith, he's going to get yards because he's pretty quick. A.J. Brown, he's going to get yards because he's just a freaking bully. Saquon Barkley, it's Saquon freaking Barkley. And like you said, Jahan Dotson, at certain times, we could take the top off, but we got so much of players that all we need is like that short game to make it a big game. We don't need to be Steph, like in basketball. Everything's 3-pointers. In baseball, everything is freaking home runs. Let's not do that with the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what I mean? I'd rather the short game, because you know what? It tires the other team the same way as Saquon Barkley running the ball, because they don't want to hit in a cold A.J. Brown. Is you freaking crazy?
No.
I mean,
if you're giving me 5 yards a game every play, why not take it? I don't need 10 to 20. If you're going to give me 5 yards, and this was one of my biggest gripes. Like, there was a play. I think it was 4th and 3 or 3rd and 3, something like that. It was, and they lined a tight end out wide. So Darius Slay goes out to cover him, and Darius keeps looking in like, who's going to come out and get this? Well, that's your guy. He's that guy.
Yeah.
Darius backs up 10 yards off this guy, and it's 4th and 3 or 3rd and 3. I forget the down, but I remember the distance. And this guy runs 3 yards, turns around. Well, Darius has got to close 6-7 yards, and it was an easy first down for the Packers. It was that big tight end, though. And then the play, I think it was the other 4th down play when Quignon was covering the receiver. It was the same thing. Like, this Quignon was 8 yards up off the guy. They only needed 2 to 3 yards, and they threw it to him. He had the first. He just couldn't get his toes down. And we were lucky in that. I hate the fact that when it's short distance like that, why are we backing up 8 to 10 yards off the ball?
Yeah.
Get in those guys' faces and jam them.
That's always been the problem with the defense, is that they don't like to get beat over the top a lot. Even before Vic Fangio came here, all of his disciples that have been here, it's been the same sort of philosophy where we don't get beat over the top. We don't want to get beat over the top. But the problem is, we get beat over short distance. We get beat over the middle. We get beat over, to the sides and this, that, and what have you. And it causes the other teams, their offense, to be on the field for a lot longer, putting more wear and tear on our defense. And then we do end up giving up those big plays later on in the games when we need, say, the offense is struggling, and then we need the defense to try and save the game, where they haven't, because they're too tired, because they're getting beat constantly for so many yards all the time on these long drives that they let it happen just because they don't want to get beat over the top all the time. But sometimes, because certain teams against certain players, you've got to take that risk, and they've got to be closer to them to beat them at the line of scrimmage. You know, it's just
See,
this is something. Oh, go ahead, Rio.
No. See, just with that part on that defense or whatever, it's a lot of times. Yes, it bothers me a lot. I get it at certain times. You know, you're doing certain things with the defense depending on the defensive schemes that you're calling. But like a quick play, like Justin just said, we worry like the and you brought up Adam the Vic Fangio disciples. I always hated like that picket fence defense. And at times in the game against the Packers, I noticed even on defense, we was like, all right, we're up. We were being conservative. And I'm a man of percentages. So I feel very confident in our D-backs sometimes to maybe leave them on an island that if somebody is going for long, that percentage of that going to happen where they doing that all the time and scoring the touchdown ain't going to be very high on us, definitely all the time. Now, moving down the field just to chip away. I don't want them to get no fucking points, even if it's a freaking field goal.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm thinking during that game, they learn stuff themselves because I know Vic Fangio's thinking. Same thing. Nick Sirianni has to be thinking it. And freaking Kellen Moore, just the face, it just bothers me. That's why I get all upset. But they got to be thinking like we can't be leaving these guys in the freaking game because it's too much anxiety. Them guys couldn't. The Packers, let's not get them messed up. They had a number 5 defense against the run. They couldn't hang with us, bro. They couldn't freaking hang with us. So I'm figuring they're gonna figure this out. And look, this is a dynamic quarterback that we got. So it don't matter what the team is. Stafford is going to get the ball there. All them other receivers have to do is just freaking catch the ball, whatever he got. So we definitely got to play some shit and get to his ass and have his head on a freaking swivel. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, you need you need the likes of Jalen Carter, to do his job this week. The last 2 times they played the Rams, he's been able to get to Stafford a few times and sack him, and Jordan Davis has had decent games against them. The defense, they've done well against the Rams, so this is another time now where we need them to step up. Obviously, his playoff is different, but they've got to be on top of their game. Nolan Smith, he's been phenomenal this season. Like, Sirianni last week, I don't know if you've seen the little locker room videos they put out after the game. He gave Nolan Smith the game ball because he said you've been completely violent, physical, aggressive. That's what we need on this defense, and he's really stepped up this year. Me and Justin have talked about it all the time. Like, he's probably like our favorite player on defense this year because he's just, at the start of the season, it was like boom or bust. We didn't know if Nolan Smith was going to step up or not because of all the different coordinators that he's had since his rookie year. He missed a bit of his last season in Georgia with his injury. So, he didn't know what he was going to really look. And he's become a complete player this year. So just, the defense have got to do their job in this game.
Right.
Like you said, Rios, Stafford's going to get the ball to his guys. Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, they're no slouches. Like, they can make moves on your defensive backs. So it's going to,
So
got to happen.
The thing that I've not heard a whole lot about this week, as far as our defense goes as well, I think they're really going to prepare for Jalen Carter because they know what a game record this kid is. So who's going to have to step up? It's going to have to be Milton Williams, Moro Ojimo, Booker, all those backup defensive tackle / end guys like that. We're going to need a big game out of those guys. We're going to need something out of Jordan Davis. A lot of folks were bitching, he only played like 12, 15 snaps. But they're not, like I said earlier this week, they're not seeing what he's doing because when he's in there on those running downs, this guy's occupying 2 guys, sometimes 3, because he's getting one guy out the way with one arm, then another guy commits to him, and he's driving like he was literally driving 2 guys back with each arm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how Jalen Carter's getting free. That's how Nolan Smith, Josh Sweat, and Milton Williams and those guys are getting freed up to make plays. So we're going to need big games out of those role play guys.
Hey, well. Justin, that what you said, just thinking about it, and like while you saying that shit, I'm playing it in my head, and you're absolutely correct because the biggest thing of Stafford is them passing, him getting the ball to them receivers. And at the same time, they rather stop that front and nobody get to Stafford compared to throwing the ball and it's playoff football against our young secondary that we have. You know what I mean? They're going to put them to the freaking test, you know, this young secondary. So that was that right there, that analysis right there is probably, I would say it's key. I would say it's key.
Get pressure in Stafford's face and don't blitz him, because Stafford is so daggone good against the blitz. He's great against the blitz. He can get the ball out quick, accurate, and if y'all remember back to the Panthers game, that was the worst game that Quignon and Cooper DeJean had. Adam Thielen, a wily veteran slot receiver.
Oh, right.
He gave both those kids fits in that game. That was probably Cooper's worst game as a nickel corner. And Adam Thielen just wore him out. Cooper Kupp can do the same thing. Puka Nacua can do the same thing if we're not careful. Yeah. But the key
it's
to
another
Stafford,
tough matchup for him this week.
The key to Stafford is get pressure in his face. If you're in there, I don't care if it's Carter and Davis, Williams and Ojimo or Booker, whoever those guys are in the front, those front three guys. You know, I'm not saying the edge pressure doesn't disrupt what Stafford does, but we all have heard it our whole lives, whatever you've been following football. Pressure in a quarterback's face is what disrupts him the most, and that's where we have to get pressure. I'm not saying they won't use Vaughn on a blitz here and there, right in his face, or Burks, or even Trot Jr. We're all hoping and praying that they just unleash Trot Jr. and he just blows him up and does the axe man. If he does, I'd give about anything to be beside Rios when that happened, because the roof would come off Rios' house when that happens, because I know Rios is a huge Axeman fan like myself coming up as an Eagles fan. I'm pretty sure me and Rios are a little bit, kind of close in the same age. And Rios was talking earlier, like he came up on Eagles defense, and that's when I became a fan. When I was a 10, 12-year-old kid, when you had Reggie White, Clyde Simmons, Seth Jordan, Jerome Brown, all those guys, Eric Allen, all those guys on that Buddy Ryan defense. I didn't get to see it because I was in Tennessee, but I would read about it in the paper the next day. I would watch it on Sports Center and the NFL primetime show with Keith Jackson and Chris Berman. That's how I got a lot of my content down here.
Let me tell y'all something, gentlemen. What the hell y'all got me on here for? Because y'all firing me the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? What you got me? Like, Justin, you got my legs, I can't stop flickering my legs or whatever. Like you, whatever that means. But it's all in my head. Reminded me as when I was a kid and all them stuff. I grew up on that. Like when you bring that, just think about this. This is my life that I tell you. Think of the Eagles defense and think of growing up on the Eagles defense as I got older when I first got in the Army, Brian Dawkins.
Yes.
And think of when I was young, number one, growing up, my role model was Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
If you know Charles Barkley and the stuff, he never had bodyguards. He would throw people out the window. He done some stuff, but you're over here saying something. It's just, gentlemen, y'all firing me up. I love all this. This is my thing. Y'all bringing out the great points and the stuff that's needed. Just like even when you said Adam Thielen, think about one of the best receivers who was, and you talk about football intelligence.
Yes.
This guy, this one receiver I look at, man, and I was like, because he was slow as hell. His football intelligence, he was always open. If he was blocking, he would block the hell out of somebody and bust their jaw. Oh my God. Now I just lost train of thought. The Steelers wide receiver, he's half black, half Filipino. What was his name? Hines Ward. Think about Hines Ward. He wasn't fast, but he will always get open. He will always catch the ball. If it's to block or to anything, like a trash man, he's going to clean people up and he's still going to score touchdowns no matter what. And no matter how great we can have as fast corners, fast defensive backs and whatever, these guys got to be smart and pay attention to that football intelligence, because older people, like when I was young or play football, basketball, there was the guy I played basketball with when I was just young, like 13 years old. He used to be on the block. We call him the Puerto Rican Larry Bird. He was the Puerto Rican Larry Bird. But he was like, at the time, he was my age. I'm 45 right now. I was like 13. He wouldn't move much, but you get that man a damn ball. What? He had so much intelligence, no matter what, to use his game in a different way as you get older. Like Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant didn't have what was talented with. He was always talented, but his explosiveness changed after injuries and whatever, and he still was busting people's ass. So as long as our guys are prepared and prepare for that, and pay attention to do a lot of video on these smart receivers who have football intelligence and been in the league, like Cooper Kupp, Thielen, and all them cats, then you know what I'm saying, we have a higher advantage. But big thing too, Justin, up the middle. And if you think about it, that's the only way the New York Giants beat the New England Patriots with Tom Brady was had them guys coming up the gut and getting in Tom Brady's face. So you had a great point there.
Who was that guy? Chris Canty? Was he the defensive tackle that wreaked havoc against the Patriots? Was that his name? Was it Canty? He had that Mad Max looking face.
Yeah. Him every time. Yeah. I mean, when he a tackle, was always in the face. You know, Stafford ain't going to do too much side to side anyway. He knows how to move in and out the pocket. Yep.
He's older. I'm not going to say he's a statue, but he's dang near close to it. If we can get in his face, move him off his spot, that's where the key's going to come. Because if you let him stand there, he's going to pick that secondary apart.
So let me ask you both, like, you know, I don't know what snow is like when it comes down in Philly, RIOS. You know, like they're projecting some snow for the game now on Sunday, and obviously back in 2013 was like the snowball, and I watched the highlights of that game, and it looked absolutely insane, and that's when, like, you know, Shady McCoy had his big game, and that was against Matthew Stafford, right. And you know, like Matthew Stafford's record is like 1-8 in snow and rain. So what do you sort of, you know, both think that the game plan will be? Because like Saquon was talking earlier in the week that he might, you know, call up Shady and ask him for some sort of advice in how to play in the snow. So do you think they'll just, you know, obviously stick to the game plan with just, like, you know, running the ball, have the offensive line dominate, or do you think, you know, they might try and pass the ball here and there, depending on how everything is looking?
Well, being, you know, played in the snow and understand all that, I mean, they're gonna, at the end of the day, there's gonna be, don't get it messed up. The main idea when it's the snow, you're gonna run the ball. So at the end of the day, because on defense, they coming out explosively, coming towards you to tackle the running back. Saquon Barkley, he breaks up, has his footing. You see what Shady McCoy did, and Shady McCoy was swifty. So I see Saquon, he's swift, but he's faster than Shady, but Shady just has some shake about him that worked very good for the snow. But you're going to also with the passing game, you think about it. I played in the snow. Like I said, if you got a guy just really running a straight route or a post, he'll keep his footing more than a defensive back is backpedaling or trying to move side to side. So a ball's going to be thrown in certain areas, and you're going to have people wide open. People going to be slipping or whatever. But most of the time, it's gonna be more running the ball. But then at the same time, there's percentages with that, because in the snow, the ball, okay, protection of the ball with the running back running the ball, protection in the air with it's slipping out the quarterback's hands. But a lot of times you will find receivers open in the snow. It's just depending on Jalen Hurts' footing, him throwing the ball to get the ball there. So there's going to be passes there, but most likely it's going to be more of a running game. But, you know, I don't see nobody stopping Saquon Barkley, but if Saquon Barkley doing what he got to do to have his footing, he's going to have a field day against these guys if it is snowing.
Oh, man, yeah, I hope so.
I think they're going to run a lot of 12 personnel too tomorrow. If there is a lot of snow impacting this game, I think you're going to see a lot of 2 tight end set. And Dallas Goedert is so key to this running game. Like when you look at I mean, how much better of a run blocker he is than Calcaterra. Calcaterra is more of a receiving threat, and Calcaterra done an outstanding job in Dallas' absence catching the ball. but
Oh yeah.
he's lacking in run blocking and pass blocking as far as that goes. Dallas, a lot of us have said this is probably his last year with the team. I hope it ain't, because Dallas is so key at run blocking and pass blocking. He's great. He's great at that. So I look, if there is a lot of snow and weather is a factor, look for a lot of 12 personnel running the ball. I don't think they're going to go away from a lot of what they said. And something else I wanted to hit on too, like the last couple of years, like when we had Miles Sanders and DeAndre Swift and everything, everybody's like, run the ball. You've got to run the ball. You run the ball. Well, now we're running the ball, and everybody's like, well, why aren't you throwing it? Your quarterback's not dynamic enough. Make up your daggone mind, guys. What do you want?
We can't be pleased. We're just the Philly fan base. We just
Yeah.
we no matter where we are in the world, we're not pleased. If
Yeah.
Jalen doesn't pass one week and he then we just win running. I mean, like look what he said. Jalen, right? He said the other day, all I care about is winning the game.
Winning.
I want to win. So he said, if we've got to pass the ball to win a game, then I'll pass the ball. If Saquon's got to run, then he'll run. And Saquon said as well, he said, I don't give a fuck how we win. I want to win the game. And that goes to show, like, I know Nick, gets a lot of flack in the media and all this, but you gotta, like you said, Rios, with all the injuries that they had back in 2017, they were able to all come together that year because of the culture that was built around the team, from the coaching staff, from Doug, from the owners, and everyone around them. You know what I mean? And that's what Nick has put together since he's been here. He's put a good culture behind them. And I mean, like, look what happened to Detroit now this year. And the defense has been completely blown up. They've got literally, backups beyond backups playing. But Dan Campbell has built a culture, obviously, in that locker room where they're still stepping up. And it'll be interesting to see what the defense looks like tonight against the Commanders. That's going to be, interesting. But that's what it's all about. It's about culture and coming together as a team.
Right. Look, let me tell you something. You said it great, Adam, because when people down in the Detroit Lions, and the first thing that just always comes to my head is 2017. I got my first freaking Super Bowl after so many ass whippings as a kid, staying up late if it was Monday Night Football to watch the Eagles. I was so much of that. And to have that first Super Bowl, understanding that we got that Super Bowl through all them injuries, I cannot go back from that now, understanding that, you know what, it really is next man up. Understanding in the military, if somebody's not there or all types of situations that happen, is next man up. If at the end of the day, if us three are a team and one of us go down, what else to do? The train need to keep going, right? The train got to keep going. So we got to keep going. So I feel very freaking great about us. I'm not worried about no other team. I feel that we're tough. And one thing I would like for, like, if how like you were saying, Adam or Justin, when it was talking about like Jalen don't care as long as we win the game, Saquon don't care as long as we win the game. I agree. But let me tell you this. The way our team is this year, win the game, but it doesn't have to be a style thing. Not keep these suckers in the game. We gotta really. You want that championship? These guys want that championship. I think Detroit never won one. They want their first freaking championship. You gotta keep things down people's throat. We still got Kansas City and the AFC in it. We gotta go through the Rams. We gotta go through maybe Detroit or the Commanders. All of them won it. The NFC East is coming back. You got the Commanders still in it. You know what I mean? So even if we play them, it ain't going to be freaking easy. We both know each other. We play Detroit, it ain't going to be freaking easy, because look at the style of culture, like you say, and the coach that they freaking had. We need to really, you got to when you got people like myself or whatever, you got to do something deeply to shut us freaking down, because the guy's going to keep coming up. You can't give nobody freaking life. And I noticed that. Like, look, I had times where I'm getting my ass whipped, boom, 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 but I always knew, boom, boom. Next thing you know, it was a one-hitter quitter that I had or whatever. Can't give me life. When it's people like me, you got to keep the foot on the gas, man. And that's all I want. I don't want to just be like, I don't care how we win. Now, we are so good. Let's make it comfortable for us. Then because we can do it. Then certain people doing certain later on in the fourth quarter, whatever, if it needs to rest certain people, but it's showing we making a statement that we're going to take the freaking Super Bowl. We're not going there. We're not playing sniper till we taking it. Nah, it ain't that it's just only ours. Give me that. Oh, Kansas City, you want a three-peat. Yeah. They want to three-peat. They want to be the first team in NFL history to three-peat. Yes, we got to get through certain shit, but we got to think right away. Stud a mud hole in everybody's ass all the way to the bowl with a bully and say, fuck you, go to hell. Get out of here. For real.
Yeah. That's the mentality you're going to have with this possibly Detroit team coming up. Like you said, they're hungry. They think they should have went to the Super Bowl last year, and they should have. They blew that big lead against San Francisco in the NFC Championship game. They should have been to their first Super Bowl ever last year, and they blew it. So they're looking at this as their redemption, their next chance, and they don't want to blow it. So if it is Detroit, we have to go into their house. We have to go into the proverbial lion's den and walk out if we want. And it's like Rio said, if there's something you want, you have to take it. That's what this team is going to have to do. They're going to have to step up and take it. And you look at Jalen Carter, like, that guy is so daggone good, man. So good. And you look at him at times, and he's just got this shit-eating grin on his face when he's on the field because he knows he's whipping everybody's ass. He's like, you ain't got nothing.
I said you before, just like early on, like when they beat New Orleans and Jalen Carter, they were trying to hold him back. He was ready to go on the field and fight Matthews, the safety for the Orleans. And it took like Big Dom and the Clint Hurst or something, the new defensive lineman coach, and and CJGJ coming back this year, the aggression that he brings back, the confidence, the swagger. God, this defense has needed that so much that since Gannon came in and messed everything up.
You said, Adam, something like, okay, so the game against the Saints and how they were holding Jalen Carter back. This is what you do. This is how you do that. I have that type of asshole attitude. I love the pain. I love like that camaraderie when we play football. So when I played football, I remember playing. I always remember it. I played for Edison High School in North Philly. Our two rivals, it was Allenly High School and Gratz High School. If anybody know Gratz, Rasheed Wallace, who played basketball, Rasheed Wallace went to Gratz High School. But anyway, when we played Allenly, those are most people that I knew in my hood, 100 Park. They played over there, and then others played at Edison. Long story short, my best friend threw me a pass. I caught that motherfucker. And one of my guys that I knew hit me. Boom, got me in the ground, and I loved it. And I got up, and I went straight to him, and I headbutted his ass in the helmet like what, and got in his face. So the referees threw a flag. I got penalized. Coach got me off the field, wondering what the fuck I was doing. One of my friends on the sideline, no, not my friend, one of my other coach, Coach Gibson, he would always have a cigar. He was like, Rios, you need to just keep that energy. Just stop the dumb shit. Look at me, motherfucker. And I had to look at him. Just stop. Because it's right, the cigar right in his mouth. I don't even see no smoke. He just had a motherfucker in his mouth. Just stop the dumb shit. Look at me. Keep the same shit. It came energy. So what I'm saying is, like with Jalen Carter, you want him to have that, I'm kicking everybody's ass, whatever. But get him to look at your eyes, a person he respects, and say, just cut that dumb shit. But you talk to him in an aggressive way where he knows, like, you love it. I love it. But just stop that one freaking thing. And look, our young guys, we got it even. We got veterans who talk shit, and we got these young guys being disrespectful. And I want it to happen all disrespect. I want to win with disrespect. I want them to know that, damn, we played them motherfuckers, and it's like, yo, you talk about really taking a heart. This is who we are. This is what we are. And once we get it, we stand up. We on the throne. I mean, what else we gonna tell you? Straight fucking Pound Town. Violence gets results. We smack the fuck out of you. This is our league right now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you want people to be scared of you. That's what you want. You want to be known as the aggressor. You want to be known as the bully. You want people to be scared of you. That's plain and simple truth. And I just wondered, we've not talked about him a whole lot this year, but that defensive line coach, Clint Hurtt, what has he done for this team? I mean, it's like our defense. Those young guys, like I said, Ojimo, Booker, Davis has had his best year. Carter's just exploded this year in his second year.
He's had a great year.
And you see I don't know like who Nolan Smith's position coach is, if it's a linebacker coach or if it's that defensive line coach. But I'm telling y'all, man, I told James and Elliott at the first of the year when they were giving our season predictions, like, what are you projecting? And I told them that first show, watch out, Nolan Smith is going to wind up with 8 to 10 sacks this year. And both of them said, well, I don't see it. I hope you're right, but I don't see it. And he got 8 sacks, in the regular season. So
well, you told me something I didn't know. I didn't know it was 8. Shit, I just learned that.
8 sacks in the regular season is what Nolan Smith had. I mean, that kid, like, when I seen the interview with him the other day, he's like, man, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be working on the docks. I'm supposed to be down here in Savannah working in the barge yards or whatever it was he said, And this kid, he's literally got that dog in him. He has worked his ass off. He's like a lot of people were saying, oh, he's a bust. I heard a lot of people, hosts and callers on WIP last year. This kid's a bust. We wasted a first round pick on this guy. Okay, first he came into the season kind of nicked up. Then he hurt his shoulder in the preseason. Then he went through not one but 2 defensive coordinators in his rookie year. In Patricia and who was the other guy that got
Sean
fired? Whatever his name was. Yeah, he
went
through 2 defensive coordinators his rookie year. Do you realize how much that can set a rookie back? And hamper somebody's growth and development. So, I mean, I credit that kid because he put the time and the work in to get where he is right now in his second year.
And he has the attitude. Because even before they were calling him a bust, when he first got in there, he had certain interviews. There was something in him that you got to have some type of attitude. You have to. In combative sports, you got to have some type of attitude. And there's ways to have it. Brian Dawkins is the one, like, I love this man so much, man. Yeah. I love this man so much. And I admire him because I don't know how he could be that violent without cursing.
Yeah,
how?
Never
I can't. I don't know how. I don't know how. And I will always try my best, but this is me. But that is so amazing about it. And man, when you talk about, like I said something yesterday in a speech, I don't know if any of y'all got it, but
I heard
there's a big thing about the 64 guys who gave up the body. And I talk about my high school. There's a memorial. It was out of the whole nation, country, I believe out of the whole world, Vietnam, my high school, North Philadelphia, was the most guys who got sent to Vietnam, young men, right straight from school, who got killed in Vietnam. Memorial, 64 men, straight from high school, like boom. And there's documentary on it on YouTube or whatever about it, that I think a couple of them, and one that they did recently. But one thing I used to hear my coach in high school say, he'd be like, I like to think of the 64 men who gave up the body. And this is when we're losing and fucking up. He like, I like to think about the 64 men who gave up the body. And there's nobody giving the body today. So that's why I get so like, you give up the body. Brian Dawkins, give up the body.
Yeah.
You came into this league for something. You signed a contract. I signed a contract in the military. I knew what I was doing. You signed your $1 million. You know what you're doing because you got that kid inside of you that this combative sport is still combative sport. We used to sign waivers. You could end up paralyzed. In high school, you had to sign a waiver. Like, yo, we ain't suing the school, not like that. I signed a waiver. I knew what was going to happen. I'm a little cat, but I loved it. If I got paralyzed, injured the way, whatever, forever, it is what it is. I did it through something that I love, and I could live with it. You feel me?
Yeah. Oh, no, like yesterday, I think you said it, Justin. You wanted Rios to go in the locker room for one of the games. Forget Gilly, they need Rios, but I want Rios in the locker room. I want Rios like in the huddle with Landon Dickerson, warming those guys up, because Landon Dickerson, he gets those guys so jacked for the game. It's unbelievable, like how he gets the offensive lineman just like so I mean, if Rios, if you and Landon were together in that huddle, it would be absolute carnage, and I think it would be amazing.
You will never make me not believe that Landon Dickerson has not heard one of Rios's hype speeches with some of the stuff
Yeah,
he said. It's
he
like
has to have.
he's writing it down. He's recording what some of the stuff that Rios has said, and you will never make me believe he's not heard something that Rios has said, guys. I'm telling you, it's phenomenal, and I agree with you, man. If they can get Gilly out there on the field, man, we got to get Rios out there, man. It would be so daggone awesome, and those guys would run through a freaking brick wall.
A brick, two brick walls.
Rios got done.
Yeah, it'd be insane.
As far as
let me tell you something, Justin. Just real quick, just Adam, you reminded me of that. Give me I'm a real motherfucker. That you doing that, Justin, it got me very, very, very emotional because
take your time.
Excuse me, gentlemen.
You're good, man.
No, take him. It's all right, man. It's all right.
I love my Philadelphia Eagles. And you know, I done speeches in high school.
Yeah.
And then remembering stuff through the military, through combat, I kind of put all that stuff together. You know, people may think I have issues, that I'm crazy. It is what it is, but
no way.
I put stuff together in a way, whatever is in my mind or whatever, to give these speeches, to go all out, to give an energy for people to feel. Justin, by you saying that, very honored, very freaking honored. You know, the way you said it, I know I would, to be able to do that will be, you know, me as a 45-year-old man, it will remind me as a kid, as a dream, to be in that locker room. But once I'm in that locker room, if that ever happened, once I'm in that locker room, it's like having my men in front of me. And all I have to exert, I had to protrude all the green, all the nastiness, all the nightmare, all the fuckery that goes on or happens in life, and stuff that you got to put out to remind men what you're doing it for. There's a purpose, there's a cause, there's reasons to, I'm dying for something. I'm not dying for nothing. So that, you know, I like I told y'all, when I play football, every time I got on the football field, I will be honest, I had tears in my eyes. It's more on, I love it. When I box, even when I got hit, I loved it because it was a turn on. It turned on. Now it's for me to go kick ass. And hearing y'all say this, and a lot of people give me shout outs. I'm honored. I'm not better than nobody. I just who I am. This is what I am. I'm Philadelphia to the fucking core. But and I want great for everybody. It ain't me saying violence to do dumb shit like people in the world who's out here saying, cursing, doing the dumbest stuff to people's wives or kids in the streets, killing. Nothing like that. We talk about the means of becoming a man and to get what you want in freaking life. I'm violent through life. I have no choice. I want everybody to be violent through life. You have to. Nobody's bowing down to nobody. You got to take what you got to take. Justin, Adam, like, y'all, it doesn't take too much to get me. People know how to, especially people who I'm with, they know that button. I have a button, and you know, I got a lot of love. I've been through so much violent shit in my life that I'm really very peaceful. I'm very peaceful, and I want to walk away from dumb shit. I do.
Yeah.
But when it's no choice and it has to battle, you battle. So if I'm in that fucking locker room, to y'all, everybody in Philadelphia, to the freaking Philadelphia Eagles, to all the management, all the way to Jeffrey Lurie, to Ike Reese, to Johnny Marks, to damn Spike Eskin, to Jack Fritz, to 94.1 WIP and everybody on it. I will make the city, I will make everybody proud. I will make sure that them men, no matter if they cry or whatever, they're going to feel what I have to say. And I'm going to make sure they let the energy out, but they still have extra energy in a battery pack for when they go out on that freaking field. Because I'm a pour my life. I'm not in there to go to bullshit. When I'm in front of men, I got the floor. I got to guide men out there. So that's telling me, if y'all ever got me on that floor, that I'm the leader. And you know what? That's one thing I know how to do. And I would lead the men fucking out there to remember everybody when they was a kid, stuff they went through with family, stuff, trauma that they seen in their life, if it was a death, if it was anything right in front of them. All the way through life, what was your outlet? Football. Why? Them hits. You playing receiver. You playing D-back. What you doing for? Who inspired you? I would go through everything. And I promise, the shit will definitely, if it's recorded, it's going to be edited. Because everything is just going to go straight cold-blooded, whatever it is. It's going to be edited. But at the end of the day, it's a good cause that I will always put out. I'm not just a freaking maniac. I don't, PTSD ain't shit that just makes people want to kill somebody. It keeps me fucking alert. It makes me think maybe I'll be a little on edge when I'm out with my kids. Because I'm going to always pay attention. I'm going to fucking survive. And what we going to do, we're going to survive and we're going to win that fucking Super Bowl.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Absolutely
was
awesome, dude. I love you, man. God, that's awesome.
Yeah. Love you, Rios.
Love y'all, gentlemen.
Like I said, you are like, a true, Philadelphia sports fan. Like, this is why I wanted to start this podcast with Justin, because I love Philadelphia. I love Philly sports, and I wanted to create an outlet for, fans from all over Philly, from out of the state, from out around the world, come on and just chat, get pumped up for the games, and this is what it's all about. So, like, to have you on here with us, it's an honor for me and Justin to have you on here with us, you know what I mean, to help us and to help everyone that watches our podcast get hyped and pumped up for this game, because the Eagles, they're in one of the best possible positions they can be and ever have been to go on and win the Super Bowl this year. You know what I mean? They took care of the Packers last week. They can take care of the Rams this week. I know, like, if they do get there, the Lions, it's going to be the toughest battle they've ever faced. But they can do it. They can beat the Lions. They can beat the Commanders. They can beat the Chiefs if they have to go up against the Chiefs.
Give me a minute, buddy.
So it's going to be all good. So, Rios, thank you again for
that. Before you do your thing, let me just tell you this. Blood on the grass. How I say it and the thing I said. It's military terms. And when I was in the military, it was pretty much the thing of certified grass grower. What makes the grass grow? The hard chargers. The people hard charging with bayonets and everything. There's a meaning to everything that I freaking say.
Yeah.
I have certain ways to say stuff, and it could be my saying on the way I do it, but there's always meaning to the stuff that I say and in ways I pay homage. But let me just say just one more time, I was honored for y'all to have me on your podcast. Everybody who on Twitter, on Instagram, and I can't mention names. A lot is very overwhelming, because there's a lot of people that I don't know who show me love. This is who I am, and I will show love back. If I was rich, I'm buying the bar out and giving everybody beer. You know what I'm saying? But some way, somehow, however I could give back, I'm going to always give back to people showing love. and give me kind words, because that does rev me up. That does keep me in a way where, because I'm not perfect. Sometimes I feel depressed. Sometimes I gotta I bully myself. Now, I mean, sometimes, everybody has that bitch inside of them. I curse that. Get your bitch ass up. This what you got to do. Like, I bully myself, So I go. I'm not just maniac psycho who could do anything. There's reasons for my method. There's reasons when I put stuff as video and walk out in the code, because it's me keeping myself accountable, gentlemen.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of means to me, but I just wanted to, I hope I made y'all proud. I just want to give my energy out to y'all. Hey, I got nothing but, I haven't met you yet, but got nothing but love for you, Adam. Always showing love. Justin, you already know what time it is. I'm taking you to the fucking hood to get a banging ass fucking cheesesteak, because I'm sure you haven't even been to the hood and got a banging ass fucking cheesesteak.
No.
So
No.
I met this man's family. So, and let me just say that too, Justin, that meant a lot. To introduce me to your wife, to introduce me to your son. That means a lot. That family stuff, for you to do that meant a lot. So, I hold you very dear. Gentlemen, I'm honored. I appreciate y'all.
Well, my family's everything to me. So, I mean, like I said, y'all welcome not only me in, but y'all welcome my family in both times I've been to Philadelphia. And I mean, it's just been phenomenal.
Yeah. So I think on that note, boys, thank you both again. RIOS, you've been honestly what you are, like a true inspiration. What you do is brilliant. So just keep up the good work of promoting your mental health, and it's just been incredible, and it was an honor for us to have you on, and I can't wait to hopefully one day get back out to Philly and hang out with you and meet you and stuff.
Yes,
and Chickies and Pete's or something. So yeah. So boys,
can we get score predictions real quick before we go?
Yeah, let's do some score predictions. Yeah.
Go ahead, Rios. Guess first, man.
Score predictions. I'm ready for an ass kicking. 35-17.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna say I'm gonna get a little bit lower. I'm gonna say 27-17, 10-point win.
I'm gonna go 30-20.
10-point win. I'll take it, boys. I'll take it.
I'll take that.
I don't care if it's by 9 or 90, as long as it's a win.
Get the W. Get the W.
Let's get it.
Oh, no.
Boys, let's go to Pound Town. Let's hunt. Let's promote the violence. Let's
what
do it.
What makes the grass grow, Rios?
Yeah, motherfuckers. You know what we do.
Grass grow, Rios?
God damn it. Blood all fucking day. Gentlemen, I salute y'all. Go
Peace
Birds.
out, everyone. Go Birds.
Love you, boys. Mean it. It's been awesome.
Love you.